Why do people communicate with each other?
Can you imagine how boring the world would be if we could not communicate with each other? Passing of information through the exchange of ideas, feelings, and intentions are very important in our lives. Right from the beginning, man has passed on messages in different ways depending on the distance between the giver and receiver. Initially, only words were used to convey ideas, followed by the use of drums, smoke, signals, and noise produced by calling out in different tones. The invention of writing helped in preserving the messages, and communication became dependent on transport to some extent. Letters or written messages could be carried by hand by animals or birds, which were trained for the purpose. With the invention of the railways, airways, and motor vehicles, communication became faster, so it became dependent on transport. Telecommunication, telephone, radio, television, satellite, computer, is independent of transport, but postal services still depend on transport network. Amazing fact. There are still some remote areas where the old methods like fire and smoke are still being used for communication, like in some parts of Africa. The communication system has a major role to play in the development of the economy of a country. It has brought people living in the different parts of the world closer to one another. Without visiting the country, we can learn about its climate, culture, and people. Therefore, it brings about unity and social togetherness. In case of any calamity, emergency, or accident, the news is flashed across the world immediately. In this way, relief and help can be sent to affected areas instantly. The means of communication can be divided into two forms. 1. Personal communication. When communication takes place between individuals through postal or telecom, it is known as personal communication. 2. Mass communication. When communication is with the masses through the radio, television, cinema, press, print media, magazines, newspapers, and satellites, it is known as mass communication. Do you know the first automatic telephone exchange was commissioned at Shimla in 1913 to 1914 with a capacity of 700 lines.
Postal services. Have you ever sent or received a letter? How do letters reach us? There is a department known as the Post and Telegraphs. We send or receive letters through this department. There are nearly 1.5 lakh post offices in our country. People buy stamps, postcards, inland letters, envelopes, and aerograms from the post offices. Earlier, messages could be sent quickly through telegrams, but now this service has been discontinued. Postal service is the cheapest means of communication system. Internet. We can send letters or messages through the internet in no time by the electronic mail, email. Through the internet, any person can get and share any message or information anytime and anywhere. It has made communication faster and cheaper. Nowadays, people can access internet on their computer or smartphone easily.
This electronic device plays an important role in the communication system as well in the field of education. This is one of the most popular means due to its speed, accuracy, storage capacity, and transfer of knowledge. These have become an important means of communication at the personal level. Mobile phones are easy to carry and have become the most important means for the people. Fax is also an important means of communication for sending messages speedily. It is a machine for sending and receiving the exact copies of documents by electronic scanning. Color photographs can also be sent through this machine.
The common means of mass communication are the radio, television, newspapers, magazines, films, advertisements, video games, and CDs. Radio. It is an apparatus for broadcasting messages. It keeps us updated with news and educational programs in different languages. It is also a source of entertainment as it also broadcasts songs, music and running commentary on some events, etc. Television. Television is a system of reproducing on the screen visual images transmitted by radio signals. All of us watch the TV programs for the information as well as for entertainment. Newspapers and magazines. Newspaper can be defined as a printed means of conveying current information. Newspaper gives us information about what is happening in and around our country as well as world. Newspapers provide news in details. These are published in many languages. The Hindu, the Times of India and the Indian Express are leading English dailies of India. Reading the news is a good habit. Make it your habit to read at least one newspaper every day. Magazines are published in large numbers for a special group of readers. They can be published weekly, fortnightly, monthly and annually. Yojana, India Today, Chronicle, Pratyogita Darpan, Science Reporter are some of the popular magazines. Films. Films are made on various topics. They entertain us but are also a medium of understanding social messages and create awareness in society. Mumbai is the home to Hindi films and is known as Bollywood. Social media. Social media platforms include different types of platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Quora, Wikipedia, and Pinterest. In these platforms, the public can be both content creators as well as the audience. Social media offers two-way communication, that is, an individual has an opportunity to voice his or her opinion on a post. Nowadays, social media has become very popular. People use social media to stay in touch and interact with friends, family, and various communities.
Let us summarize. From early days, man has been using various means to convey messages. Communication became dependent on some form of transport to some extent. The communication system has a great role to play in the development of the economy of a country. Satellites, computers, and mobiles are some modern means of communication.
Communications are of two types: personal communication and mass communication. Letters, telephones, and mobile phones are means of personal communication. Most of the newspapers are published daily in many languages. Films entertain and educate us. Social media includes websites and applications that enable the users to create and share content or to participate in social networking.